writing this lesbian drama is a defining moment for you, really.
It is. I mean, it's the first time that I've been the lead writer on a drama, and it came about because I had been in to see Derek Wax at Kudos, and we'd had a general meeting, and got on extremely well. We shared very similar taste in programmes, we shared a very similar sense of humour, and he said to me, would you like to, come up with some ideas for an original project? And I did set out thinking, I want to write tragicomedy. I want this to be a drama with a lot of comedy.
She might be your type.
Well, everyone's type. She's clearly straight, and even if she wasn't, I have the repelling stench of dumped and desperate about me.
And I wanted to write it because it's a culture I know, and I had these sort of characters knocking around in my head. Initially, when I saw them made up in their costumes, I think that was when it hit me that it was really happening. It was sort of like, I wrote these characters and now they're actually walking around. This is them. And I was pretty blown away at that point.
So are these characters based on real people?
It tends to be a bit like doing a collage. You take maybe a bit of yourself and a bit of some other people and stick them together, I think that sometimes a character will start out as having been based on a person, but by the time an actor has taken on the role and made it their own, and other writers have come on board and given their own spin to the character, they just simply don't end up being that person anyway, which is, why I'd never say, oh, someone is based on someone, because they just don't end up being so, really.
What about this? I borrowed the skirt off Kat.
Yeah, you look great.
No, I don't. I look rubbish.
I think Fiona was the most eye-opening in terms of casting, because I'd always imagined that Tess would be quite cynical and quite depressive. Fiona brought a sort of sweetness and likeability to the role. And I think consequently people will sort of fall in love with the fact that she's fallible.
Really?
I think inevitably, as a writer, I draw on my own experiences or things I've heard or, know about.
Were you ever hiding under the bed?
No, I was never hiding under the bed. I will admit I know someone who, did go to someone's house and came across things that they, that they didn't realise would be there. But that's a very good example of a nugget of a situation that was then turned completely into fiction.
You just thought you'd hide under the bed. Have you gone mad?
Hi.
Some of the comic scenes are some of my favourite. I loved a scene written by one of the other writers, Julie Geary, in episode 4, which is also when Tess goes back with what she thinks is a gay woman, and turns out to be sort of one half of a married couple who are looking to spice up their sex life, much to her horror. And I think possibly my favourite moment of all is the wicker chair. There's a wicker chair that comes through the door because the husband is trying to bring a chair in order to sit down and watch. And the wife says, turn it round, turn it the other way, and you can already tell that there's a marriage in trouble there because she's talking to him like a kid.
How are you, Frankie? I'm fine, thanks. You?
I'm working. No, it's not a good time. I have to go to a thing.
Won't mind if I walk with you? I'll take that as a no.
Obviously I do like the serious scenes.
Do you know how much I missed you? Now I wonder why I bothered.
It's quite toxic, the relationship, at the same time as also being probably the biggest love of her life. It's a very difficult thing for her to just lay it to rest when the relationship never really happened. It started, but it never went anywhere because of who Frankie is. And there's always that sense that it's unfinished business.
Frankie!
What this was about for me, in part, is about things that are left unsaid. The pain that's caused by people who can't express their emotions or don't tell each other what they're really feeling and hide their sort of desires and, their fears. And I think playing, they play games, or they basically don't fess up to, their emotions. And I'm always more interested in a writer in what's not being said. than in what's being said. I guess it's about how people hurt themselves through not being honest with each other. I hope that people are intrigued by, their relationship and are rooting for them, but I also hope maybe they're rooting for Cat and Sam. I don't think it's clear-cut. It wasn't clear-cut to me.
I was a nightmare date, and it isn't a crime not to fancy someone.
I never said I didn't fancy you.
Sam's emotionally much more of a grown-up. She is much more able to express her needs and to demand that someone is honest with her, and it's a very happy and healthy relationship. I don't think I ever saw it as being a clear-cut case of it's Frankie or it's Sam. I think that they represent different things to Cat and different types of love, but I think she's in love with them both. I certainly have thoughts and ideas about where it could progress to, but I think that I wouldn't want to say right now, simply because these things do change, and they can change very last minute and in the writing, and so I'm going to hold my cards very close to my chest on that one. You don't see Frankie, certainly not in series 1, allowing anyone to do anything to her. She tends to be very active in a sex scene, and it was interesting to me the notion that the one person who she would make herself vulnerable to sexually is Cat, which you see, at the end of the series. In watching people have sex, the way they choose to have sex, or how two people have sex, it tells you a lot about either them or their relationship. The L Word was the second time. Go Fish was the first time, and of course Rose Trochet and Guinevere Turner were involved in writing and directing at points on the L Word, so there was sort of crossover there. That I'd seen a very authentic depiction of a gay, lesbian lifestyle, and I guess it was important to me that our sex scenes were as authentic, and in as much as the whole tone and style of the show, we were going for realism. It wasn't stylised particularly. We wanted people to feel like they were watching real life. The L Word went 6 series, I think, in the end, and they covered a lot of ground. So yes, consequently, I suppose I didn't feel such a weight of responsibility to delve into so many issues, because they really did do it so fantastically well. I certainly never felt like I wanted to be in competition with the L Word, because I think that there's no reason why people can't enjoy both in the same way they enjoy 2 cop shows or, 2 different medical dramas.
Do you think I should suggest another night when I've had more time to prepare?
It's a date, Cat, not the Miss Gay UK pageant.
I think that in this, hopefully people will relate to the characters, and will be able to, everyone across the board, whether straight or gay, will be able to understand the emotions that they are conveying, whether, love, jealousy, fear of failure. I think that's something everyone can relate to. I hope they'll laugh a lot. I hope they'll find it funny, and I hope they'll judge it on its own merits.